El Salvador Part 2. So, this continues. The coins made for El Salvador in the U.S. Mint. We begin at 1940. Now, in 1940, a change was made. And that is, if you look at the name of the country on there, Republica de El Salvador. 2 words, D-E space E-L Salvador. So, what had been before, and I'll show on this, point out on this other one, it just was Del Salvador. And the same thing went for the next denomination too, the 1940 Republica de El Salvador, 5 cent, whereas before it had been Republica del Salvador. So that's kind of curious. Even stranger, the 10 cent always had de El Salvador before and did not need to change. So anyway, that's 1940. In 1942, though, another change was made, and the 1 centavo that had been copper nickel up to this point is now just copper, or probably the same copper alloy as a U.S. cent. Give or take maybe tin or zinc or whatever, but probably at least the zinc would be there. Once again, this indicates I don't have a 1943 1 cent, but they did come out with a 25 cent. It's interesting that the 25 cent and higher flips this way, whereas the lower 10 cent and below flips over sideways. So there's the 25 cent. For 1944, there's a 5 cent. Oops, see, I'm getting in the way of doing that wrong. There we go. Okay. And once again, the 25 cent. And in this case, once again, it flips over this way. And it's made of silver, by the way. So at least the higher denominations are made of silver. Now, 1945, all there was a 1 cent. And as you can see, from here on out, they're going to be copper in the cent, while the others will be copper, nickel, or silver. So 1947. 1948, 5 cent. Oof, that one's really nice. Look at that cartwheeling. Okay. And again. Oh boy, I'd love to have them all like that, but oh well. 1950. Okay. Alright, 1951. That's pretty worn, but you can see it is a 1951. I don't have the 5 cent for 1951. And here's the 10 cent. Ooh, now again, we got a nice cartwheeling. Okay. 1952. Got a full year set for 1952. Nice. Bright red bronze. With a little bit of cartwheeling even. Okay. 5 cent for some reason. Seems to be difficult to find in anything but a low grade. But here's the 10 cent. Okay. Now in 1953, for some reason, when they did the higher denominations, once again, here is a 25 cent. You notice how it is smaller from the 25 cent we last saw in 1944, though it still flips the same way. So apparently we are having to grapple with some inflation. So there's not only 25 cent, there's even a 50 cent, which is still smaller than that old 25 cent. So that's 1953. Okay, 1956, we make some more. Yeah, it's got cartwheeling. Another really splendid specimen. Well, 1959, we made another 5 cent. And along with some Ethiopian 10 centime, 3 Philippine denominations of 1, 5, and 10 centavo, and this 5 centavo of El Salvador, that completed all of what we made for anything foreign in 1963. So once again, this represents the era covered by the original Alts and Barton. But 1967, we're able to pick up again without let up, without any change, like nothing happened. So now here's 1967 5 centavos, and the 1967 10 centavos. 1968, for whatever reason, it's the 1 centavo. And the 10 centavo. Okay, same thing for 1969. Look at that, beautiful cartwheeling on that. Okay, and the 10 cent once again. And then skip a couple of years. In 72, we make a bunch of these 1 centavos once again, and some 5s. Not as many apparently. It's been difficult to find this in any grade, but this less than ideal specimen. Not too bad, but not up to some of these others. And same for the 10 cent here. And that represents the end of the U.S. making coins for El Salvador. So there we have it, El Salvador.